Not right to speak out.
All you have to do is call them. What? Oh, we're on? Okay, so great. So in the absence of the Star Spangled Banner, we are here anyway to get this game started. Another edition of Hometown Cable's presentation of CVAC Section 7 Soccer. This is the Class B semifinal game coming to you from the first of two semifinal games coming to you from the George Brendler Field here in the hallowed grounds of George Brendler Field here in Chazy, New York. We have the number 1 seed Northeastern Cougars taking on the number 4 or 6 seed, I believe. They were 6 or 7 seed. 6 seed, I believe. Okay. It was the 5 seed. That was the only number I had left. So our statistician tonight, so let me introduce our booth personnel for you. On the camera is Calvin Castine, as usual, our statistician and color man, Joey Trombley, who owns this booth and has allowed us to come in this evening to help out, has let us know that Plattsburgh is coming in as the number 5 seed, upsetting a higher seed, the Saranac Chiefs, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah, in the quarterfinals to reach the semifinal match. So they are in their away black jerseys facing the Cougars, again the number 1 seed, in their home white jerseys. This is the third time that these two teams have squared off this year. Cougars getting the quality side of the scoring opportunities on the first 2 occasions. So we get this set up for you, and you got anything else to add before things get rolling, Joey?
Joe, you're the play-by-play man. This is your game. You got the mic. It's your show, buddy. You go for it.
All right. Well, thank you. But certainly, I know there's no way I can keep you from commenting. So anytime you see something that you feel needs, here's a nice delivery by McCarthy, who is no stranger to this field, as Joey pointed out early on in the match play in his first couple of years of varsity soccer here at Chazy High. And he's been an outstanding player for the Cougars for the last couple of years. Sends a nice ball to the far end of the box where Patrick Parent got a good shot on it. Looked like it may have been deflected by a Hornet player before it went out of bounds, but officials saw otherwise. Anyway, here's a opportunity for the Hornets, but that gets knocked away. This one comes out towards midfield. This is John Fine-Leash. He's going to push it wide, but Grimshaw steps up and takes that down the left side, wide open on the left side. He carries the ball deep into the attacking end. Pushes into the box for McCarthy. McCarthy is defended there by Eltahar, and he draws the whistle. So,
you know the scores of this year, Joe? The 2 games earlier.
They were pretty lopsided scores. I gotta say, it was. I think the first one when we played it in Champlain was 4-1, and down in Plattsburgh was 5-0, 6-0, something like that. They were both pretty lopsided victories for the Cougars. There's Channel, sends one wide for Gray. Gray turns and tries to send a cross into the box, but Josh Rabideau, the senior keeper for the Cougars, comes out and scoops that up. Speaking of goalkeepers, Coach LaRose has called up a JV player to take care of the goalkeeping duties for the Hornets here in the sectional playoffs.
So you took out his regular goalie through the regular season?
I'm not sure he had a regular goalie.
Okay.
It was sort of a committee effort, and not, I don't want to take anything away from the goalkeeper position, because I had this discussion with Calvin last night that it's never your fault. I mean, if you're the goalkeeper and something gets behind you, it's usually not your fault. So, unfortunately, Coach LaRose didn't have anybody other than Robbie Knowles who's had any any kind of experience in the net, and he really needed his expertise in the field to help out with the defense. So it's been a committee effort in the games that we've seen. So.
Well, and the goalie from Northeastern will, when it gets dark, you will not miss him over there. He's got some neon colors.
No, he's got his neon socks on and in the stripes. There's a offering by a corner kick offering by the Cougars, and Michael Stetz, the aforementioned call-up goalkeeper, comes out and makes a pretty positive play on that one. So I think Coach LaRose has made the right move to bring Mr. Stetz up and leave the Myhalls and Robbie Knowles to play their position spots out on the field. So it makes perfect sense to me.
Well, Coach is always adjusting through the season for games, and he thinks this is the best opportunity against a team that's beat him soundly twice this year.
I have nothing else to add to that. It's
just a statement.
It makes perfect sense, and you know, Chris LaRose is a guy who makes good coaching decisions. It's going to be attested by his records over the years. This is certainly a down year for the Hornets on the boys' side. And I guess you always have to have those rebuilding years, and it starts with his lower, his JV and his modified programs, and Mr. Stetz is just a perfect example of that. So anyway, let's see what's going on here. We got a free kick for the Hornets.
Hey, Joe, I think you'll agree. When has it been this warm, this late in October for a playoff game?
I was actually thinking about that today when I was out trying to. There's a nice ball that's headed back by number 12, Brad Channel, and it's an excellent delivery by Knowles, and Channel gets ahead. Here's Tatro with an opportunity, pushes it through the defense, but Eltahar's there. Here's McKenna Hunter is. I've had trouble with that name all year long. I've known him since he was 9 years old.
Would you be at McDonald's today or something?
I've known him since he's.
You have McRib, and you're talking about McHunter?
7 or 8 years old, and I still have issues with his name.
First name McKenna, that's why.
Yeah, no, I know.
Right, so he's the guy with two last names. And so we'll just call him McHunter from now.
Well, and I think you'll agree, too, that anything can happen in soccer. I mean, surprisingly, in stunning fashion, the Cougars, the girls, were upset last night.
Yeah, well, your rendition of stunning and others. I'm not sure if you saw any of the previous games against the.
I just heard that they had won 3 of them against them.
But Saranac is always prepared to play a game. It doesn't matter if it's soccer, it's basketball, it's softball, ping pong, or billiards for that matter.
Pick on billiards now.
Either way, my point is that the Saranac Chiefs are always well coached and well prepared to play whatever sport they come out.
So
to
for
play.
you, it wasn't a major upset last night.
Absolutely
from
not.
what you saw all year.
Absolutely
okay.
I don't. I wouldn't classify the 2012 Chiefs soccer team as a lesser squad than I've seen in years past.
Well, and actually, when I say stunning, the Cougars were favorites, but when Joe and I, or Calvin and I, were talking earlier, we did the earlier game?
Right.
Yeah,
Beekmantown and Plattsburgh.
We said of those 4 teams, any 4 of them could win the championship this year.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the outcome of the games were close. There were no lopsided games in any of when the Cougars played their 2 games against Plattsburgh and their 3 games against Saranac. And there's a nice ball by Austin Tatro on the volley on a service that's put in by Dustin Cooper. It's a pretty good scoring opportunity there for the Cougars that they had 3 guys up against the Hornets defense that were back on their heels. Anyway, back to the girls' side. Those 4 teams that made it to the semis, they were all quality squads, and that's It's how things happen here in the playoffs.
Well, it was a great game last night. I mean, I was watching it over the other side, and it was just a very entertaining game.
There were moments of it that saw some energy, and moments that were less. And there's Stets again up nice and high to grab that shot by Tom Bedard, come up from his defensive spot to take that shot off the set piece. Here's Pupor intercepts the throw. Tatro has it midfield. He's looking for support. Has it on the left side. Tremblay boy overruns the ball and presents a offensive opportunity for the Hornets, but that's turned away by Zach Gay.
Double that! Come on, your knees, pound it!
Here's Bedard showing some senior leadership, pushes up left side for Ryan Marks. Ryan Marks again has some wide open space, but Myhall heads away that crossing effort. Cougars trying to reorganize, but the Hornets come away with it. Pushes it just a little bit too deep, and Bedard has it. And here's an opportunity for the Hornets. This is channeled, but he gets that knocked away by Grimshaw. Pushed up the left side for at least fine. It goes out of bounds. Going to be a Hornets throw-in. Skips by Bedard. He hustles after it.
Black, keep it up.
Here's Tulaski. This is the longest the Hornets have been able to sustain anything in the attacking end for the Hornets. Eltahar sends one long. Rabidou comes out and picks that up, and he'll get it restarted again the other way. Tatro makes a nice play to get his body on the ball, but Eltahar stands his ground. Here's Bedard. He controls, still has it, pushes it down in the corner, and he gets it by, and he'll draw the foul. So once again, the Cougars with a free kick inside, pretty akin to a corner kick. Hunter will take this kick. He pushes it to the far end of the box. McCarthy's there. He's dangerous with that head, and it goes over the crossbar.
McCarthy, how many goals should he have on his head?
He's closing in on 50 goals, and I got to tell you that better than half of them have been off his head.
I read in the paper one, I guess, would have been overtime, where he actually came flying in, diving, and headed one in for a game winner. One of the goals was scored that way.
Right. Well, that in the Peru game, he had the hat trick. The Cougars won 3-2 in overtime.
Okay,
the first two goals were headers. The overtime goal was not, but
okay.
it was on a breakaway. But his first two goals were off his head. And here's a nice opportunity for McCarthy. This one usually doesn't miss, but Stets makes an outstanding play on that for a young goalkeeper in his first or second varsity game. That is an outstanding play to stay focused on the ball. Got the initial stop on a pretty prolific goal scorer, and got the initial stop, bounced over to the right side. Pupor had an opportunity to put it back in, and it came back to Stets, who stayed focused on the ball and made the grab. That's a feather in a cap for that young fella right there, I got to tell you this. Now here are the Cougars with plenty of space. Pushes it up for Pupor, who's got some room, tries to get it in for Tatro. Nice play there by Knowles. Tatro stays with it, or Tremblay stays with it. Here's McCarthy, puts one off the side of his foot. Stets will chase that one, and he's going to not be able to grab that before Austin Tatro closes in on him, so that's going to result in the first corner kick opportunity for the Cougars. We're about 14 minutes, just over 14 minutes into this first half. Still no score, so an entertaining contest so far. I mean, the Hornets know where they are and what's at stake. So
Well, the majority of the play's been on this end here, but the Hornets are doing well, keeping them off the board up to this point.
Absolutely. There's a nice opportunity. Again, that one's headed by McCarthy, but Stetz comes up big on that play as well.
Stetz is an athletic goalie. You can see that right here early on.
It's the first time I've seen him, and I'm impressed so far. First 15 minutes of this
We
contest.
talk about athletic goalies, just to change gears for a little bit. That goalie for Saranac was very athletic last night.
She's been hot the whole, I'm going to say second half, probably before that, but she's been playing well the whole the majority of the season. She's come into her own and has really kept that team in a lot of games. Only got to see him play the couple times that they played the Cougars, but from what I read in the paper, she's outstanding, and she had a stellar game last night. There's a great opportunity by Jack Pulaski at the 6 to knock that ball away. That's the grade A scoring opportunity there for the Hornets. I think the Cougar defense may be taking things just a little bit for granted here in the early going here. I think that.
Good pressure, Black. I like what I see. Keep it up.
I think it won't be long before Coach Hawksby starts talking to his troops, saying, "Listen, you need to get a little more focused." And
You know the process. There it is. Step to it. Step to it now.
here's Pupor, sends one long. Eltahar's there. Trombley for Hunter. Hunter sends it back for Bigor, and this is Grimshaw. Grimshaw sends one long. Eltahar, the tall, lanky sweeper for the Hornets, comes up and gets ahead on that to slow that down. This one's pushed into the box. Eltahar and McCarthy have a collision, and the whistle's going to go against McCarthy. The officials for tonight, we get the Kowalowski brothers. That's Jerry in the center at the referee position. Tom down here on this sideline, and Todd Lambert over on the other sideline. Here's Gay.
That's it, on knees. Save it. Yes. Yes. Nice play, 15.
Hornets once again trying to organize their offense. Here's a nice play by Channel. That gets sent into the middle. 22 is Kelly. Haven't called his name this evening, but he had an opportunity there, but it was taken away. Here's McCarthy with some room down the left side. Pulls it back around. Tries to send one long for Pupor, but that gets cut off by the Hornets defense. Now here's Trombley. He's going to try to get one into the box. This is Pupor. One times it. It's loose in the box, but it's cleared out by John Leach Fine. And Tatro was just a half a step behind that play. That was a nice ball played by the Cougars there to come up with a pretty decent scoring opportunity. And as we heard from Coach Hawksby, Tatro was just a half a step behind that play.
He won't be the next time.
Well, we hope not.
If he's listening to his coach.
We hope not. For a sophomore player, he's been outstanding all year long. That one hits the ground, and it's batted around. Here's a dangerous opportunity.
Look how many Hornets you have in that box there.
Looked like the whole Hornet squad plus a few off the bench were packed inside the 6-yard line. And oddly enough, it hit somebody in the hand, and it was somebody in a white jersey, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, that's one of those opportunities where that ball, and that's you said, oh, what a throw. If you haven't seen the Cougars play this year, Rodney Grimshaw has come up with that flip throw that's become an absolute weapon, offensive weapon for the Cougars all year long, and it's just like a corner kick when they have a throw in deep in the attacking third. He can put it in the box at pretty much at any time.
Yeah, I mean, and deep in the box.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
It is impressive, and he'll take that throw on the defensive end of things too, which is sort of like a play like that, where it's a free kick and he can get it 30, 40 yards down the field without a problem. So a nice Nice play by Josh Rabideau to punch that ball out. He punched it out with pretty much authority and gives the Cougars an opportunity. Here's a nice delivery by Mason Letourneau, who's checked into the contest without us knowing it, and good hustle there by Tatro to get his foot on the ball. And it goes out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick. Colby Provost. Here's another one that's in the box. Headed out by Kelly. And that's pushed out of bounds. So we'll have the Cougar throw in. We'll see how this goes. See, now he doesn't have a whole lot of room to get backed up here, so he'll
make room.
He'll come back on the play just a little bit and give up a little bit of yardage for the ability to make the throw. That one comes to a Cougar player first, which is effective. While all the Hornets were looking for the deep throw, intentionally or not, get it to one that was wide open. McCarthy gets ahead on that one, but one hops back to Stets, who had it played pretty good. So we're got about 19 minutes to go here in the first half. Still no score in this Section 7 Class B semifinal match. The first of two games coming to you tonight from George Brendler Field here in Chazy, New York. Here's Provost. Gets a nice touch past Knowles. He's waiting for some support. Pushes one down the line for Tatro. Tatro makes a nice move, and he sends one into the center. Eltahar is going to get ahead on it and get it out to a couple of black shirts. Here's Lease Fine. Gets his ball taken away by Bedard. Bedard looks for some room to throw. And here's Tatro with an opportunity. He's going to put one in the box. Oh, Provost whiffs on it. Trombley comes up and tries to get it out in the cornfield. There's that ball that I always talk about is the dream of any midfielder, is that one that's trickling out outside the box. The defense is kind of stepping back a little bit because they're not sure where the ball is, and the midfielder's coming in on it, and you've got all your momentum going forward. And
Avery wants that opportunity again. That's something his uncle would have done 30 years ago. Calvin's shaking his head yes over here.
Yeah. Well, anybody who's ever played the game has done it at least a dozen times. I mean, it's that that big.
Oh, I know.
It's that big fat egg in front of you saying, "Here it is, baby. This is rolling out to me." The defense is kind of sucked back into the box,
and I got daylight,
and I can see the goal, and I'm going to kick this thing from here to the lake. And
if it wasn't for the net, it would have.
And that's what happens. And more times than not, that ball is, you just get a little extra charged up, and it goes a little high. But it's an opportunity. That's where midfielders get their goals, is they're playing in that supporting role, and ball trickles out, and they're coming in, and there's Bedard with a header, but tries to send one back into offensive spot, but gets defended nicely when Coach LaRose is doing the right thing. He's packing all of his defenders in the box, and I believe if he he thinks he can keep this to a minimum scoring opportunity. Here's Marks with a nice shot from a tough angle with a left foot on the opposite side of the box.
I got players right there for that.
But what I'm picking up on here, Joe, is PHS is packing it in, and you can only do that for so long. And at some point, the Cougars, with the pressure they're putting on, I think will score. And I think once that happens, I think the floodgate's going to open. It's just what I'm picking up here in this first,
I guess,
30 minutes, 24 minutes.
I agree with you, but my guess is that Coach LaRose is saying if we can keep this to a one-goal game in the first half, his chances are a little better coming away with a victory than if he's down by 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, that has to be a strategy after what happened to him this year.
Right.
But usually that strategy doesn't work.
Okay.
Normally.
All right.
Normally.
Say it a little louder. He's standing right there.
Well, no, he's too focused on the game hearing us talking heads up here.
Keep it going, corner.
Here's Tulaski trying to get past the the defense, but
You mark the outside.
Bedard knocks it away. Hornets now get the ball down in the attacking zone. Toloski again saves it, takes it down to the end zone, gets a cross in. Bigor's there, and he kicks it out of bounds. It's going to be a throw in, I believe. Yep. Hornets with the throw in. And once again, and this one rolls all the way into Rabideau, but Toloski was right on top of that. So Hornets showing a little bit of spunk on offense, and I'm thinking that that's all it's all he's looking for is a little bit of a spark when the ball gets down in the attacking third, and then the rest of the time let's just pack it in and keep them from scoring.
Right.
I'm guessing that's probably what he's betting at his only opportunity to come away with a win here. And we're going to find out in 54 minutes whether it's the right strategy or not.
Yes, we will. As they say, Joe, time will tell.
Time will tell. So far, it's worked out well for him. He's had a couple of decent opportunities down at the offensive end and has kept the Cougars' high-scoring offense off the board. And that ball is thrown from midfield all the way into the 18. Comes out to midfield. Bedard is there. He's going to push it over for Parent. Parent's got some room. He's going to chip one into the box, but Eltahar makes a nice play to come up and clear that out. Here's Trombley. He turns, has some room. He's going to take a left-footed shot, but once again, Stetz is equal to that task. So,
one thing, of course, Plattsburgh played here at the Frankie Garrow Memorial Tournament in Labor Day, and is it Altatar, number 20, or in the back there, the stopper position?
Altatar, yeah.
He was playing actually the midfield position, so over the course of the year,
they certainly
move people around.
Has made some adjustments. Yep. Here's Grimshaw, tries to push one forward for McCarthy, but that gets cut off by Knowles. Here's Marks, puts it in the center for Hunter. Bedard. Cougars doing a nice job of holding some possession. Bedard, for whatever reason, chips one in, but didn't quite get that one hooked enough for McCarthy to make a play on it, and Stetz stays focused on that one.
8-1 shots favor the Cougars, Joe, so far.
And that's looks pretty good for the Hornets defense that they're able to absorb that type of shot barrage here with just 12 minutes to go here in the first half. Trombley with the kick, the in-swinger, and that one's headed in off the head of McCarthy. Comes off the foot of John Fine-Lease, but I think that was destined for the far post either way, so we'll see how this goes down. I'm guessing that McCarthy's going to be credited with that goal. I'm sure that
I would think so.
that Fine-Lease did all he could. That ball was going in either way, and he got his foot on it and did put it behind the keeper, Michael Stetz. But McCarthy's going to be credited with that goal on a superb corner kick delivery by Joey Trombley's nephew, Avery.
Well, he had to get the talent somewhere, Joe.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, it wasn't here.
No.
We have to agree so quickly with that, Joe.
Well,
But you know.
I don't know. I've never seen you play soccer, so I couldn't really tell you. I know that his mother had a couple of daughters that could play pretty well. Here's another opportunity for the Cougars with quite a bit of room here. McCarthy pushes it down for Pupor. Pupor is going to work against Eltahar. He puts one out to the top of the 18. McCarthy slips, but it looks like he's probably going to get a shot off. He does, and it goes long. It goes far wide of the far post and over the end line.
Well, but here's what I was going to say with the first goal, where I think the floodgates will open. PHS has to open up now. They can't play for that tie. I mean,
Okay.
So they got to open up. And if that happens, I think the Cougars have too much, and they're going to see some more goals take place.
All right,
there.
we'll see. We'll
It's
see
just
what
like
happens.
in-depth analysis. Joe.
We'll see what happens. I'm
Take it for what it's worth.
I'm thinking at this point, Coach LaRose is going back to his notebook and saying, okay, well, that packing in thing worked for the first 30 minutes, but now they're on the scoreboard. So if we don't get ourselves an equalizer before halftime, maybe he'll have to change up his game plan a little bit and open things up again and try to put a little offensive pressure on it. All I can tell you is that the first couple of games that I've seen the Hornets play, which were both against the Cougars, they don't have a whole lot of offensive weapons to draw on. So. I think he's just going to have to hope that some opportunity comes to his way and keeps this game close. This is a bit disorganized, but Brooks Kelly comes away with something here, and we'll try to push one long, and it goes through everybody. Rabidou comes out and sends one back the other way. That one goes over Lee's fine, and that whistle's going to blow as Pupor kind of undercut him a little bit. I'm sure it was not intentional, but
No,
just the way John Lee's fine was headed, and Pupor was headed the opposite direction. So anyway, if we didn't mention it after the goal, the goal gets credited to number 19 Kyle McCarthy. The assist goes to number 2 Avery Trombley on their fourth corner kick attempt of the match, which is another thing I was thinking about today during the girls' game last night. Or the Cougar girls had 8 corner kick attempts and not a single shot on goal on any of them.
Yeah.
Which really disappointed me as a spectator. I don't know as I made that point on the broadcast, but something that I was thinking about today when I was digesting the game is
Right.
with that many corner kicks and not a single shot on goal is.
Now, obviously it was a penalty kick, but was it a legit call? I couldn't tell on where I was standing what happened down there.
I looked at the replay today, and yeah,
Hey, sir!
she leveled her.
It
She
was-
came from behind and hit her, and was gunning for her.
So they had to make that call then.
I
Okay.
looked at it out because I thought the same way that maybe it was 50-50, but she got her from behind.
I have no comment.
No comment.
Other than where the foul took place. I mean, had it been, somewhere between 10 yards and in, maybe yes, but from the 18 to the 10 in a playoff game.
So you're from the premise you don't make that call in a game like that.
I don't know that I would have awarded a penalty kick.
Okay.
I probably would have given them a free kick outside of the box because it happened pretty high in the box, and
Hey, watch the switch!
I don't know.
All right. Well, it's your position.
I don't know. That's probably what I would have called. I probably would have awarded a free kick outside the box.
See, in my position, if a foul's a foul. And, you'll see it during regular season, they'll call it, and then you get in the playoffs, they don't call it. You see it in hockey.
Right.
And it's like, why? A foul's a foul,
Yeah.
Well,
I agree. I mean, I agree that
I don't want you to change your position. I'm just...
the foul was a foul. There was no question about it because, and I'm also of the opinion that, a defensive player that has the mental capacity of Michaela McDonough knows that if you don't make that aggressive play,
she's going to go and score.
she's going to go in and one-on-one on the goalie and probably score.
And, of course, I'm assuming that's what the official... That was the official's position was if she didn't take her down,
Okay.
she probably would win. Again, it's a good debate.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting the different positions on it.
But again, I'm thinking that the foul occurring where it happened, had the official made the call that it was not in the box, then I not that it was a foul against the Cougars, even if it happened at the other end, I probably would have said the same thing, because that happens very frequently. And it could be 2 or 3 steps inside the box, and the call is that it's awarded a free kick outside the box and not a penalty kick.
Yeah, I
Right,
guess,
wrong, or indifferent, but it
Right.
happens all the time.
Sure it does.
Come on, coming your way.
But again, this is the type of in-depth conversations you get here at Hometown Cable. It's
Only
only at Hometown Cable.
Yeah. Well, all right. Here's Gay coming way up from his defensive position to run that ball all the way up to the end line, and goes over the end line. It will be a goal kick for the Hornets. 5 minutes left here in the first half. The Cougars clinging to that 1-0 lead on the goal by Kyle McCarthy. Hornets have done a great job defending so far in this contest. And that call is gonna go against the Hornets. So the Cougars will have a free kick here, 4.5 to go. That one goes wide, top of the box. Marks has it, but it's ping-ponged around. Here's Tatro. He's going to get a shot off. Stetzel will watch that one go wide of the net.
Good low shot. Good job.
But here's the thing with the penalty kick, is that if you don't score any goals, the chances of you ever winning a soccer game are
absolutely
pretty slim.
Right. I mean,
So to give up a goal first, first of all, to give up a goal that late in the half is kind of sinful. That's a coach's worst nightmare.
Right.
To give up a goal less than a minute to go in a half after you've basically controlled possession the whole first half, and had nothing to show for it, but then give up a goal at the other end when you maybe didn't have to.
And to the Cougars' credit,
But then not able to score in 80 minutes of play.
But you aren't going to win if you don't score.
Yeah, you don't have an argument one way or the
But
other.
to give credit to the Lady Cougars, they put some good pressure on in the second half and
nice
had
throw.
some opportunities, but they ran into a hot goaltender last night.
Hot goaltender, and the Chiefs defense played aggressive and strong, and they were in a situation with that 1-goal lead where they were able to do that, to play with some confidence and say, look, here's a team that, yeah, so what? They beat us 3 times during the year. Guess what?
It's a new season.
Look at the scoreboard right now. We are up 1-0, and we're not going to let these girls score on us. So, give credit to Coach Latemplio and that squad. I mean, they knew what they wanted to do, and they had a plan, and they executed it. And seemed to work pretty good.
That's why you play the games.
Yeah.
Well, look at Class C. NAC took out Lake Placid, who's state ranked.
Right?
Which is why you play the games.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I thought you went this way first.
I thought he went
Wave my flag.
No.
Not too, Black. Not too far away, Black. Not too
So we understand that the linesman waved his flag to call a foul.
Get up there. I need you in that gap.
So that it's a dangerous ball that gets sent in. A couple of defenders fell down. The ball popped up and caught one of the Hornets in the hand. So a free kick is awarded towards the Cougars, but Hornets maintain possession here at midfield.
Get there for some help.
Here's Channel looking for some help. Knowles pushes it forward. Tremblay is there to send it back the other way. Now Tatro has it. Sends it to the side for Letourneau. Here's Marks at the top of the box. He's going to get a shot off. Goes off a defender, but it's still in the box. Gets cleared out. Garrett will send one into the top of the 18. Here's McCarthy. He's dangerous inside. He and Knowles battle for it. McCarthy comes away with it. Hooks one just wide of that near post. That was a dangerous ball there, and he worked one-on-one against Robbie Knowles at the top of the 18, and McCarthy working hard to get that ball on his right foot and took a blistering shot that just went wide of the near post. Stets didn't have much of a chance there. I think he's pretty happy that one went where it was.
Yeah, he wouldn't have got that one.
Because that was looking like that was going to make it 2-zip with less than a minute to go here in the first half.
And would have been Coach LaRoe's worst nightmare.
Yeah, that would have been certainly a backbreaker for Coach LaRose and the theory of what we think his coaching plan is. Now here's a nice through ball. It's sent down for Bushy, and Gay makes a nice play there, and Coach LaRose kind of summed it up with his comment that we heard from up here that's been his year. That was a nice ball that was sent up for Bushy, but Zach Gay came over from his right side defense position to take that opportunity away, and we go into halftime with the Cougars up by a 1-0 score in a pretty entertaining game. Better than the first two we saw. What do you think, Calvin?
Yes, so far.
Something else over there. Sorry about that.
Tailgating. He's tailgating.
No, I was talking to. Oh, sorry. Talking to Larry Bayshard. We'll be reffing the next game, but we weren't talking soccer. We were talking about something else.
Flashbulb Bayshard. I hope when we takes pictures, so stop the game for a half hour. Of course, Larry's gonna get back at me for saying that for like the 18th million time.
I'm sure I don't
you
have
weren't
any.
here. You know the inside joke on that. We were doing a game here, and it was a cloudy night, but it was nothing spectacular. And Steve Patton was taking pictures for the yearbook, and he took a picture. Larry blows the whistle. That's it. We're stopping the game for a half hour. Well, the team was down like 8-1. It was late. They were from it was out toward Keene or Scroon Lake or something like that. So we had to hold the game for a half hour because somebody took a picture.
I see. And so, the flash was disruptive.
No,
Right. Yeah.
lightning.
He thought it was lightning.
Oh,
he thought it was lightning. So we never let him down on that. So we're gonna warn him before the next game. There's no
lightning forecasted
right,
for tonight.
It's strictly flash.
Oh, I just saw a flash of lightning. That's funny. I did not. Here's another. Oh, wow. Here's an
It's not a
opportunity.
joke. It was a reality, but
I did not know that. That is pretty funny.
so we nicknamed him Flashbow Bayshard.
I got you. I got you. That's a very.
And in fairness, Larry's a very good official, so I want to say that on the air.
It's.
And we all know Larry very well. So
Here's a opportunity for the Cougars, but Eltahar once again comes up pretty strong and sends this one out. Tremblay's got some room here on the left side. He's going to service one into the box. Eltahar once again comes out for Hunter. Hunter's going to take a crack at it, but goes wide of the net. Stets watches it go out of bounds. No, again, I was working on a personal deal with Larry. It didn't have anything to do with soccer. So had I even known about the flashbulb thing, I probably wouldn't have brought it up because I was asking him to do me a favor. So.
Well, if he hears us before the favor's done, you're going to get your favor done.
Okay, I'm hoping that
We'll have Calvin edit this.
Yeah, maybe you want to edit this portion out. At least for a week or so. Here's an opportunity for the Hornets. That one's going to get
Garrett, get that thing out of the middle, please!
Rabbit was able to take care of that one. That was Bushy got the opportunity. He was the Hornet that was sprung loose on that through ball right at the end of the first half. This time he gets an opportunity and he pushes one towards the goal, but nothing comes of that.
Well, the Cougars outshot him, Joe, 12-1 in the first half. So if they put that same kind of pressure, I'm expecting a couple more goals this half, at least for the Cougars.
I agree with you. I think that 12-shot total might be a little generous, but again, shots on goal and quality scoring opportunities are two different things. So, the Cougars are pretty good at finishing their opportunities, and I didn't see a tremendous amount of opportunities that they missed. I think, Tatro probably came up short on maybe one, maybe two. McCarthy's always always pretty tough. Here's a nice ball that's sent down for Tatro. Altahar makes a nice sliding play there, knocks it out of bounds. So we're going to have a long throw in by Grimshaw here at the 25 yards out, and we'll see how this.
Austin definitely has the speed of his grandfather or his grandfather and his uncle. That's for sure. Mark and Alan.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Monkey and monkey.
Monkey and monkey.
All right, there's a throw. It's in the box, headed by McCarthy. One hop to Stetz, picks it up on the short hop. But once again, that's a dangerous combination of that long throw and Kyle McCarthy great in the air and with his head. So this one he's not able to get a whole lot of mustard on it, and Stetz had him played pretty well. So here's the Hornets again with an opportunity to get something going. Here's Tulaski. He sends one into the middle. Dodd has an opportunity. He's going to let one go from 20 yards out, but
Plattsburgh's coming out pretty strong here in the second half.
they are indeed. I mean, again, they're taking their opportunities when they get them. If the Cougars are going to give them an opportunity to possess the ball, here's Tatro. I don't think he really meant to do that one and do what he did there. That one just chips it into the box, but Stetz is able to take care of that one. Yeah, I mean, they if they're able to possess the ball and put a couple passes together, then Cougars are going to have to they're going to have to respect that. Here's McCarthy, pushes one by on the right side. He's got some space, brings it into the box, turns it back around, chips it in. Tatro one times it and timed that just a little bit too, the shot was, the pass was just a little bit behind him. He had a little bit too much momentum going in, and it came from behind him, and he kicked it over the net. But nice work by Kyle McCarthy to make that opportunity available. Here's Parent, but he gets his pass intercepted. Hornets try to get something going, but knock it out of bounds.
Tell Jack and the Yannis to switch when they can.
Here's Knowles, puts it back out towards midfield. Bigor is there. Tremblay tries to get it wide. He's got Marks on his left flank. Here's Marks, pushes it by, but it's played there by Myhall. And that one gets pushed into the center, but the Cougar defense is all over that one. As the Hornets had nobody up. And here's Patrick Parent down the right side. Chips it back for Hunter. Hunter looking for some space, takes it down, tries to get it down to the end line, goes out of bounds, and we'll have another throw-in opportunity for the Cougars.
Too many unmarked men, Black.
Grimshaw with the throw. That one's in the box. Goes over Hunter's head. Hits the ground. Tremblay comes in, tries to advance it towards the goal, but gets defended nicely there. Here's Marks with an opportunity. Pushes one down for Pupor. Pupor is going to send it on goal, but McCarthy was not able to get to that one just in time, and skips all the way back for Stetz.
Keep chipping away.
And Stetz is going to punt it back out the other way. That one goes by Parent. This is Howie's got it on the left side. And it's going to go out of bounds, and looks like it's going to be a corner kick opportunity, which I believe, yeah, it's the first of the night for the Hornets.
25, Tom!
So the Hornets will have a set piece opportunity here. They're going to certainly work on getting this into the, wow, nice ball by Brooks Kelly, and puts a scare into the Cougars there. But Rabideau had it played pretty well. Kelly got ahead on that one and sent it on frame, but Rabideau was there to play it. Here's the Hornets with some sustained pressure, but we got a foul now, and this is going to be another set piece for them in the very same spot. So.
As you know, a lot of goals are off set pieces.
This is, you don't want to keep giving them opportunities like this because, I mean, that last play, Brooks Kelly got ahead on that, 5 feet either way, and it's behind the goalie. So.
Rabideau is very solid in there for the Cougars.
Yeah, he's solid. This is third full year as a varsity goalkeeper. He's got some experience back there. So anytime you get a senior goalkeeper with that much experience, that's a plus for you. Although I got to tell you, the young fellow that's playing for Coach LaRose here at the other end is having a great game. And this one gets knocked back in by John Lee's Fine. Igor makes a decent play here. Now the ball's just kind of ping-ponged around here at midfield. Nobody seems to get organized. Knowles has kind of been pushed up to a further up midfield position. But there's a line drive punt by Rabideau that could work out to something. But Eltahar makes a nice play here. And Parent's going to get called for that hard foul.
Hey, that's too far up the field, Mac. Poor angle on that pass.
The clock continues to run here with 29 and a half to play here in the second half. And the Hornets will get restarted. Gay kind of shanks that one out into the crowd. So the Hornets will. Well, he didn't like that ball. Rather have the other one.
Probably more air. I don't know.
Kind of like a pitcher, They send the ball out. No, you don't want that one. Throw it back. I want a different one. Pretty interesting. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. Here's Kelly. Bushy sends one into trying to find his Tulaski on the left side. But here's a nice ball that's set in for Pupor. That's going to go just a little bit too long, and Stetz is going to come out and cover that one up. Now the Hornets appear to have changed their posture just a little bit because now they only get 4 defenders back at any given time. Here's Pupor again at the top of the box. Gives it for Marks. Marks gets it by one defender, but goes just a little bit too long. It's cleared out by.
Stand center instead of being ball side. Let's go. You gotta be out there for the release point. Go. Come on, Avery. Stay. Come on, Mac. You gotta have that. Pressure.
Here's Gay. Bedard gets by a couple defenders, keeps his run going, pushes it down the right side for Parent. Parent and John Lee's Fine battle for it. Parent gets his foot on it and goes over the end line for a goal kick.
You don't have to push it down there to cross that ball. Anytime. It's available. Let's go. That's it, Robert.
All right.
Stay.
What's that?
We got some birds coming.
Oh, yeah.
The geese.
The geese are coming in. The cornfields are all chopped. And,
Well, they heard there was a game coming, so they
oh, they know they're coming in to watch?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably who.
Bird's eye view.
Yeah,
Eagles fans.
yeah, they're all Eagles. Yeah, they're all Eagles fans. So I guess so.
But there's no Eagles here tonight.
No. Here's Tatro, scoops one back. McCarthy's going to get a shot. And it goes just wide of the goal. Nice setup there by Austin Tatro, and McCarthy's coming in from a little bit behind the play, comes in and puts a shot on goal to the far post that just sailed wide. There's a scoring opportunity that I'll give you.
Yeah.
There's our
Here they come.
flock of them. It's probably what that guy was doing down there along the tree line, Calvin. I don't know if it's goose season, if they can allow them to shoot geese right here this close to soccer field, but and if it, there's a pile of them anyway.
Well, the fans may get some gifts here too.
Yeah, could be.
And then your Mickey prize.
You saw the thing that where the announcer was at the ball game for the World Series, and he got a gift.
Hey, so this is like our flyover. We had one of these earlier in the year at up at the northeastern field where during the.
They just don't come on cue like you want them.
Well, no, these are on cue.
Oh, they were on
Oh,
cue.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
This
okay.
is during the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, and they banked right over. They came over like behind the lights, and they swung right around and came right over the middle of the field during the Star Spangled Banner. We'll have to get that one, Calvin. You know,
Well, we
have
had
to
a
look
plan-
through the archives and pull that one back. It was a beauty.
Well, we had it planned too, but something wrong with the machine, so they
Yeah. Oh, well, they didn't.
it threw them off their game.
Yeah, they didn't know that the Star Spangled Banner wasn't going to play.
They're waiting for that note, and they
Yeah.
just didn't hear it.
Right. Maybe they're just queuing up for the next game. They're just getting warmed up. That was their test flyover. Now this one was actually just about perfect. Here's a beautiful opportunity again for the Hornets. They keep coming up with these opportunities, and it would not surprise me if they were able to sneak one of these past Josh Rabideau and that tough Cougar defense and not to score up, because the opportunities that they're having are pretty quality opportunities.
Well, they're proving my theory wrong. I said the floodgates would open, and it hasn't happened yet.
Exactly. So again, I'm thinking that, but I don't see as many black jerseys packed back
But
in on defense.
He can't. He has to play it for at least a tie right now.
Right at this point, he's not. He can't afford to have all those people back there, and
That ball's going right to you.
Here's Bigor, steps up, makes a nice play, pushes it wide. Tatro has it, gets it by Nate Emery. First time we've seen Emery. Here's Tremblay has an opportunity, but Eltahar comes up strong as he has all game long. Bigor has it, gives it for Tatro. Tatro with a little bit of room. He's going to take a shot. That's going to go just over the net. Austin Tatro not afraid to uncork that ball
Don't drop.
from
You
about
gotta step up
25
and
yards
crank it.
out and
You let a guy crank it like that.
take that shot.
Mo, you and Nate switch. Come to the fullback. One man to your right.
So Bushy misplays this one, gives Marks an opportunity. But Bushy takes care of that. Now there's two of them. The ball is sent into the center, but it's knocked back out by John Lee's Fine. Comes right to Bedard. This is Yahawi. He makes a nice move, but it again is stolen by the Cougars.
Get rid of it.
Here's Bedard. He's going to push it wide for Grimshaw. Grimshaw going to send one into space. It goes to right to Brooks Kelly. Now here's an opportunity for the Hornets back the other way. This is Gray. He's got lots of room.
Catch him.
Top of the 18, sends it back for Bushy. Bushy pushes it into the middle. The Hornets were all kind of just standing there flat-footed, and it creates an offensive opportunity the other way for the Cougars. Here's Tatro. He blisters by Eltahar. Eltahar comes back pretty strong and makes a nice play there and knocks it out of bounds. But we'll have this long throw-in opportunity for the Cougars. That was a great play by Mohamed El-Tahar. Now, we heard Coach LaRose switch Nate Emery, who's only been in the game here for the last couple of minutes. Heard him switch Emery back to the sweeper position and put El-Tahar out here on the flank where the speed is, and that paid off on that first play. So we'll see how long it lasts, but certainly the first play worked out pretty well. So Grimshaw sends that ball right in, goes over the head of Bedard, and is cleared out by the Hornets. Comes all the way out to midfield. Gay is there, turns it back around. There's 3 white shirts, but the only Hornet player there gets possession of it, and it'll go back the other way. 21 minutes left here in the second half. No scoring here in the second half. Cougars still have that 1-0 lead on the McCarthy goal in the first half, but certainly held the territorial edge in the possession edge here pretty much all of the second half. Not to say that the Hornets haven't had their scoring opportunities. So the geese are all settled in the cornfield now. They're going to go down and have a little snack.
Oh yeah, they're getting ready for the next game.
Yeah.
Sending a couple scouts over right now just to survey the situation.
just to line up a few targets. Okay, Grimshaw's throw in the box. Stetz has that one lined up pretty good and plucks it out of the air. Might have about bringing that out about the 6-yard line, make it a little more effective, but so Bedard launches this one over towards the left side. McCarthy controls, has a little bit of room, sends one down the right side. This is Provost. Provost puts it in the middle, and that one gets knocked out of bounds by the Hornets. So again, we'll have a corner kick. And the left-footed Avery Tremblay will take the in-swing opportunity here from the far side. Nice ball there. Tatro gets a head on it right to Michael Stetz. You want to talk about some concentration for a young goalkeeper in a pretty big game. That he stayed focused on that ball all the way, and Austin Tatro shows his athleticism to get up and get a header on that. But Stetz stayed focused on it and clutched that ball like he needed to. He's kept these Hornets in this game, no doubt about that. Shots racked up to 16 to 4 at this point, but the scoring opportunities have certainly been a little higher here than what I've seen here in the second half, and that's a fine stop by Michael Stetz. Here's McCarthy. He's going to send this one long. Here's an opportunity. That one was like...
What a leg save is what it was. Wow.
I was going to tell you that the last one off the header was probably his best save, but not as good as the one he had in the first one. But guess what? They've all been trumped now.
Wow.
That was absolute beauty right there to have the presence of mind to stick his leg out on that. I wonder if he's a hockey player. Is he a hockey player?
I have no idea, but you would guess he might be with a save like that.
That was a kick save and a beauty. And truer words have never been spoken. There's a ball that's up in the air, and it gets headed through the box by Tom Bedard and over a couple of other offensive players. Well, here's an opportunity by the Hornets, but Bigor stays steady with it.
Good effort.
And stays right with the ball and sends it back out to midfield. Here's Colby Provost. He's going to try to get the Cougars organized once again, but not with a play like that. Sends it over the end line, and Coach LaRose will go to the bench.
It was a pretty entertaining second half, Joe.
So far, this is not in the same as the first two games that we've seen these folks battle it out this year in the regular season.
I think it's safe to say that the fan base, and there's a big fan base across the way, are getting their $5 worth.
Yeah, they're getting their money's worth tonight, no doubt about that. All right, once again, Cougars. Here's Marks. Marks will chip one into the box. McCarthy gets ahead on it. Goes a little bit long, but Provost is there, and the ball goes out of bounds. Yeah, I think that as long as the Hornets are only behind by 1 goal, I gotta believe that they're still in this game.
Oh, they're definitely in the game.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, they just they can come up with a. They've had a couple of good sparks on offense, and any one of those could turn into a scoring opportunity that could even this game up. So.
But if you go back to the history of these two teams, and it's a rich history of good soccer between both teams, PHS has always been a thorn in their sides the majority of the time at this point of the season.
Sure, and on this pitch, in particular.
And I've seen games where the Cougars were a better team, they lose.
Yeah.
And games where they should probably lose, they have. But they've all been 1-0 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. 1-goal games, either way.
1 goal, yeah.
All right, so here's the Cougars with another opportunity.
Who's taking it for the Cougars?
That'll be McHunter.
McCunner, okay. McCunner.
All right, we got just under 15 minutes to play here. That ball is serviced to the back post. McCarthy skips off of his head, and Provost is in the net.
Shot!
Justin Pupor lets that ball settle just in front of him and takes it on a half volley and puts it into the top left corner. That was a beauty right there. And that ball rattled around, went off the head of McCarthy and over to Marks. Marks sets up Pupor at the top of the 18, and Pupor doesn't make any mistake with that and just drills it into the top left corner.
So who's number 5? They got the assist.
Ryan Marks.
Got the assist.
Ryan Marks on the assist, and Dustin Pupor with the goal.
Beautiful shot.
Absolutely beautiful.
But a good effort by the goalie. He dove for it, but
he was there. I mean,
he's
been staying focused this whole game, and there's no taking anything away from him. That was a goal, and there's not too many people are going to stop. Not too many goalies in this league are going to stop that shot.
Well, when you think about this, it's 2-0, but the way Stets has been playing, it could be 5-0.
Yeah. Here's another opportunity. Goal scorer Pupor falls down, but tries to lay one off from Marks, but Noel stays with it and knocks it out of bounds. So.
Goal scored by number 8, Dustin Pupor, and assisted by number 5, Ryan Marks.
So there we get the announcement. Pupor with the goal, Marks with the assist, and I wanted to look at the time, but I don't want to get in front of the camera.
14:09 left.
14:09 left in the game, so Cougars go up by a 2-goal lead here with just 14 minutes to go in the second half. That one is headed by Marks towards the end line, and Stets grabs that one, and we'll get things going back the other way. Coach LaRoe is now scratching his head thinking, okay, what other strategy can I use with the remaining 14 minutes to go in his season, which has not been a typical Plattsburgh soccer season, but you know what? He's made the best of it.
Well, and this is a young team, so they'll be stronger next year.
Absolutely.
But he's got to be happy with the effort tonight that they've played, that they've put on so far.
I would think that he's got to be very pleased with the effort of his group out there today.
Go, pushing. Go right outside. Stay up top with it. I need you to make the touch. Let's go. Hey, Mason, here we go. 100%. Let's go. Push it, drop. Right there.
This one's into the middle for Hunter. Hunter pushes it off for Bedard. Bedard's got some space. He sends it up for Tatro. Tatro gets the ball taken away from him. Bedard once again. Puts it in the center for Tremblay. Tremblay tries to slide one through for McCarthy. McCarthy didn't want to be offside, so he had to check up on that one. Here's Letourneau. Tremblay sends one wide for Letourneau. Letourneau is going to send it into the box, but Stetz grabs that one before anybody else can get to it. And we've got 12:20 to go here in the second half. That one gets by Letourneau. Grimshaw.
Back to help out. Back to help out. Hurry up!
Here's Hunter. This one comes to Eltahar. Nice play by well, don't even know how to explain this one. That's it.
Wow.
I guess we'll have to wait till this all settles down, and I'll recap what just went on. I hope you got that all on film, Calvin, because that was a pretty amazing series of events right there.
Nice job, Michael.
Stetz, once again, just outstanding in that goal. I mean, he had a couple of lucky bounces and a couple of real good plays on that whole series.
Well, the crossbar was his friend there. Austin Tatro, he'd like to have that back again. It hit the crossbar.
Tatro had certainly the best opportunity with Stetz out of the play,
But
in a pretty wide open goal, and knocks it off the crossbar. Pupor, I'm sure, had nothing to do with that because he's sitting on the bench, but there were a couple other Cougar players that had an opportunity. McCarthy was the first who created the opportunity. Got mixed up with Stetz. The ball was loose. He stood up, turned around, tried to get.
McCarthy?
Yeah,
Pupor.
tried to get a shot on goal. Stetz blocked that one and rolled it back out to Tatro, who had the wide open shot, and put it off the crossbar. And then I think another Cougar had an opportunity on that rebound. So either way, they get out of that one without any further damage. And pretty amazing little turn of events right there. Michael Stetz is going to come away from this game feeling pretty good, I got to say.
Well, my guess, I know who's to be starting for PHS and net next year would be after tonight's performance.
Yeah, I think.
Do you know what grade he was in?
I don't. Maybe I do.
I'll take it. Knowles, get up there. No.
I do not, but I'm going to find that out for you.
We'll find out. Who's number 26 here? Right here.
I don't know. That is Ryan Whalen.
Hey, Ryan, what grade is your goalie in? 10th grade? Thank you.
All right, thank you. So we get that. Mike Stetz is just a sophomore, so I'm sure that Coach LaRose can count on him being around for the next couple of years, and that bodes well for the Hornets on their defensive end of things anyway.
Sure does.
Another corner kick opportunity for the Cougars. This one's, again, sent into the box. McCarthy gets ahead on it, but a little bit too high, and that one goes over the end line.
Dan Myhall, if we have any more of these, I want Mo taking it. Both my fullbacks will be up on those. Hey, Avery, Max, one man up, one guy back. I don't want a white in front of a black.
Here's Hunter, pushes it wide for McCarthy. Ball comes back for Parent. Parent has it. He's going to turn, send across, but it goes behind Hunter. And presents an opportunity for the Hornets. Tulaski hasn't come out to him, but we're going to have a whistle on the play. And the call is going to go against the Hornets. So the Cougars will have a free kick.
Quite a few yards, too.
What's that?
Gained quite a few yards.
Yeah. Here's Letourneau. He tries to turn, gets the ball taken away from him by Myhall. Myhall still has it, sends a nice ball up for Tulaski, but that gets cut off. Here's Bigor. Tries to get one the left side for Letourneau. Tremblay gets a foot on it, but pushes it over the sideline, and we will have substitutions.
Get it up.
All right. Hornets trying to create something here, but Dustin Pupor comes up with a loose ball on the right side. Pushes it by a defender. It's broken up by Brooks Kelly. Nick Dodd can't get a foot on it. Hunter sends it forward for Tatro. Tatro chests it past his defense, but Stett stays focused with that while Myhall screens Tatro off the ball. So once again, this young keeper for the Hornets staying focused on the ball all the way through, and it's come up big. 23 is Ryan Whalen, but Marks gets the ball away from him, sends one into the box fairly harmlessly. We're at about 5.5 to go here in the second half. Cougars with a 2-0 lead, and that one gets tapped out of bounds. So. And that one skips by Kelly.
Come on, Black.
And here comes Myhall.
Come on, Danny.
Pupor on the right side. Beats his defender. Sends a ball in the center. Tatro with a shot. Again off the crossbar. Tremblay has an opportunity, but sends it just wide. So Austin Tatro 2 for 2 off the crossbar.
Nightmares tonight, Joe. Poor Austin.
Yeah, the nice thing about it is that he's got 2 more years to just drop that down another 6 inches, and he's going to have a lot of opportunities coming his way.
He's going to have a very fine high school career.
Yeah, if he can stay healthy, he's got a chance for injury just because he plays so hard in every sport. It's crazy. Anyway, here's the Hornets with an opportunity. This is
shifted our way this way in a long time.
No, this is the first time they've been down and ventured this far down in the attacking zone of the Cougars. So Grimshaw heads this one out sort of out of the way. Bigor is there. Here's Kelly. He's going to get a shot off. That one's going to make it to the cornfield.
Yep.
Awesome.
Outside of the ball.
Yep. The ball boy's like, I don't know, heck. I think that's my nephew. Is that my nephew? Zoom in on that. Is that Reed? Looks like him. Reed LaValle? Looks like it from here. Rabideau comes off his line and scoops this one up before Tulaski can get to it. And he's thinking, okay, I got nothing to do now. My ball's out in the cornfield, and might as well take the rest of the game off. We do a lot of discussing about the ball boys and their coverage. I don't know about here in Chazy, but up in Champlain, we like to critique the
We
the
don't
ball.
really give much airtime. We should probably do that more often.
We like to critique the ball people.
Well, we would, but Joe the Fish is always critiquing people. So
Yeah.
he leaves the ball boys alone. He figures they're probably underage. So they want to pick on him.
I got it. The closer he gets, the more I'm thinking that's not my nephew. Anyway, somebody's helped him to get the ball out of the cornfield. So here's Tatro again, looking for the crossbar. He's going to take a shot. This one just wide of the far post.
He deserves a goal tonight for the effort he's put in.
He says to himself, I'm going to keep this one nice and low. If I hit anything, it'll be a post. So sends it just wide of the far post. Once again, Austin Tatro with a grade A scoring opportunity there. It was about 20 yards out, but he had some pretty decent mustard on it. And Stets had it played pretty decent. So. And here's the Hornets looking to get something going here as we close in on we are at the 2 minute to go mark. This is Chris Myhall. He's trying to put some offensive pressure on. Hornets now have an opportunity deep in the zone. Here's Tulaski, lets it off for Myhall. Myhall left foots into the zone. Bedard makes a nice play there. Knowles will chip it back in, but Rabideau will have that on one hop.
Well, looks like the Cougars are going to move on here, Joe.
I would think that they can survive the next minute and 15 seconds and move on to the Section 7 Class B final matchup next Friday night. So Calvin will give us something to look forward to after last night's game. He said that the Cougars didn't win this game. He wasn't coming back on Friday. So
he's like that, you know.
Anyway, looks like we'll be here next Friday night. Oh, there's an opportunity for Tatro. And this one is roofed by Colby Provost. Makes a nice shot.
Be denied.
Makes a nice shot from the left side. Once again, Stets made an outstanding save. He kind of he pretty much run past the ball, dove back the other way, got a hand on it, knocked it back out, but unfortunately no Hornet defenders there to clear that rebound away, and Colby Provost drills one into the top of the net from about 2 yards out. Avery Tremblay is going to pick up the assist on the play with just 45 seconds to go here in the second half to make it a 3-0 score. So the senior Colby Provost getting a late goal for the Cougars here to kind of put the icing on the cake of this semifinal matchup. Well, once again, I mean, it's these two teams are no stranger to playoff action against one another, and Coach LaRose, I think, is going to be pretty happy with the way his group has played, given their record and how they've done all year long. And as you say, they're a young team, so he's got a lot to look forward to for the upcoming years.
And the difference between the 5 and 6 goal games that you've seen this year has been Mr. Stets and net for the Hornets.
Okay.
He's been the difference.
Yeah.
It could have been easily 6 or 7-0.
You're absolutely correct. So that does it as the clock winds down here at George Brendler Field in beautiful downtown Shazy, New York. The Cougars of Northeastern Clinton advance to the Section 7 Class B finals. And the Hornets of Plattsburgh High will go away to regroup for next season. That's the way it was this Saturday evening, the 27th of October, 2012. We thank you for watching Hometown Cable.